the podcast Legend Killers. I am your host, Eduardo Betancourt, Eddy Lynch, whatever you want to call me. It's all good. Call me Triple E, Double E, Quadruple E. I don't care. Double D, because I got a big... Anyway, Anyway... I'm sorry. All dirty jokes aside, it's time to start having some fun because we've had a lot of crazy stuff going on in the wrestling world these days. Oh, and actually, how rude of me to not have the class to introduce my co-worker.
Or co-worker?
Sure, yes, co-host. What is your name, good sir?
My name is
It doesn't matter what your name is!
I said it before you said that. Mr. Timing.
It's okay, that's another nickname. Mr. Timing.
Mr. Bad Timing.
Mr. Plinkett.
The main event.
Yes, sir.
No, the kickoff show.
The kickoff main event.
Mr. Kickoff show? Mr. Kickoff show.
That works. Who's Mr. Kickoff these days? Cedric Alexander?
Yeah. Mr. Kickoff
show. Alright, so let's, alrighty, go ahead and introduce yourself, my good sir.
My name is Mr. John, from the place of being.
He's the real main event.
Yeah, I'm the main event. I'm the showstopper. I'm the icon. What else did you say?
Double D.
Double D? Okay, random.
Cause I got a big, diaper.
He's got a big diaper?
Yeah, that's what Double D stands for.
Big diaper.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks looks like she wears diapers sometimes.
Oh, yeah, she does.
I might have pissed those fans off. Sorry, guys.
Oh Lord, no. It's okay. It's okay. Anything pisses off Sasha Banks fans these days. She has a 5-star match, but the moment she loses, the boss should have won. She should have won. She dirty. As if she.
You know what, people? Sasha Banks doesn't even like you. She hates people. She hates everybody. So.
Seriously.
Like, for real, though. She doesn't like anybody. So, unless it's like a child, then she still gets pissed at children.
Or the world is stalking her.
Yeah.
But hey, this is who...
You run into Sasha Banks at Starbucks. Hey, you're Sasha Banks. Nice to meet you. Are you stalking me? Are you tracking me? No, I'm just coincident. I'm just here getting coffee.
I swear.
You're in my town.
You're following me! I swear, Sasha Banks is like one meltdown away from causing a public scene, like you see those crazy people do on camera.
Yeah, don't hit babies, kiss them.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it almost makes sense that they don't push Sasha Banks. Not because she's a bad wrestler or anything, but because she's bad PR. Like, you hear in interviews say stuff like this, or she'll say stuff that she shouldn't, like promote AEW or like get mad at the game, like the new 2K game, which I don't blame her on that, and we'll get to that in a bit. But it's like
the rating though. It's like I'm not 100 overall. Get out of here.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I think Sasha Banks should be the last person to be worrying about a stupid rating. Like, I don't know.
People with like 60 ratings.
Seriously. And those are
tag team member.
Seriously. It's like, I don't know. It's like she just doesn't handle herself well, I feel like. At least not on screen. And maybe that boss character is coming too far into her head, because that's the only thing I could draw to it.
She's related to Snoop Dogg, bro.
Pardon me. Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's just, I don't know. I don't even know what it could be. Like, she's her own biggest fan, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna go lay down on the WrestleMania floor right
now. I don't think that was true, honestly, but if it was, it kind of wouldn't surprise me at this point. You know what I think? I think if she were to see herself in the mirror, she'd be like, "Hey, you're Sasha Banks!" And then she'd probably see, like, her own reflection say, "Were you stalking me?" I feel like that's kind of her conversations with herself.
No one's good enough for me, not even me.
But, okay, enough ragging on Sasha Banks, because she is, she's talented, but...
She's not even in our podcast topics right now.
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
her out of here.
And also, I just don't want a bunch of Sasha Banks fans attacking us right now. I'm not up for all that drama. Alright, so I think the first thing we should talk about, and actually we did agree on this off air, but what's it called? Let's talk about the draft. Okay, so what did you think of the draft? Did you like it, or?
It was like okay. I don't know. It was like, I thought like Stephanie McMahon like did everything though.
You know,
she part of all.
Yeah.
Like, I thought there would be like kind of like five, and then okay, I hated those shots of like the board team or something.
Yeah, honestly,
of like them jumping up. They're like fake people with computers. And paper written like with squibble lines on it, and some Fox robot or something. It's like a Fox football player robot thing in the background, and they're all like jumping. Yeah, we got Roman Reigns, and they're like woo, and they're cheering and blowing fireworks and balloons. And I'm like, what the hell is this cringy fake nonsense?
Honestly, like
it's so stupid.
Honestly, I'm gonna make a confession. I didn't see the episode of the draft, but I did hear about everything, and I saw all the picks. And yeah, I did see a little bit of like how the Fox guys and the USA guys were celebrating. My whole thing on it is like this: they know who they're picking, right?
They already picked, bro.
Exactly. They know who they want. So, like, if they tell Stephanie, like, and I'm talking just in storyline here, if they know exactly who they want and they tell Stephanie McMahon, hey, we want this guy, and that's our first pick, and it's like, I don't know what you're celebrating. You guys already know who you picked. So it's like, what's even the point? Like, all that celebrating, it makes no sense. It literally does not entertain anyone. And also, it's like, it's also this, like, you have, back in 2002, when we had the first draft, we had, what was it, Ric Flair and Vince McMahon? I didn't see them celebrating backstage, or like Vince McMahon's wife, Linda, or Ric Flair's secretary, or whatever, right? I don't think Ric Flair had a secretary, but let's just say that he did. I wouldn't see her backstage celebrating. You wouldn't see that happening. Back in 2016, you wouldn't see Shane McMahon celebrating, oh yeah, we picked Dean Ambrose! You know, so let's...
He starts doing the dance.
The dance.
I made that on the stage.
You know, I can actually see that happening now. But even then, that would be 10 times more entertaining than a bunch of Fox guys and USA guys celebrating. I think the whole thing was just hokey the way they did it. I do like that they went with a different presentation for it, just because it's like, it wasn't on-screen GMs, and that makes sense for the most part. Even though I wouldn't have minded seeing Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman be on-screen characters to compete with each other. I think that I think that I appreciate that they went for a different take, but I do wish, I don't know, I wish their delivery was a little bit better, or I wish that they had come up with something better, because that just wasn't, that wouldn't have been satisfying for me. Now, what did you think of the draft picks overall?
So basically, Raw is now SmackDown, and SmackDown is now Raw.
Yeah.
It's basically just a big flip-flop.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad I'm not the only one, because, like, I was thinking the same thing. It just feels like, it's gonna be, this is what it feels like it's gonna be for me. It feels like it's gonna be Raw's creative team moving to SmackDown, and SmackDown's creative team moving to Raw. It's like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like there's a change
there was no shaking up. Like, there was no really big changes. Like, there was nothing. It was just all, because all the big guys are usually on Raw, and all the more, like, smaller people.
Like, are you talking in terms of newer or in terms of size?
Of, like, you know, I don't know, kind of both. But, you know, like, they're all, like, just flipped. It honestly flipped.
Yeah, like Braun Strowman and Roman are on SmackDown. Well, Roman was already on SmackDown. This is what also disappointed me, is that a majority of the draft picks were guys that were, like, already on the same...
on the show or whatever, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I also think that they should have just excluded champions, because it's like... Seth Rollins is already on Raw. He's Raw's world champion. Of course they're not going to shake him up. Or, you know what I mean? Like, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
I know, it's like, what the hell? Of course they're going to go to that brand. Is SmackDown, what, are you going to just spray paint their belts? Whether they flip over?
Honestly, it's like, oh, Becky Lynch is now the SmackDown Women's Champion. Like, what? No, just exclude them. Like, it really did not make sense, and that's what I was under the impression that they were going to exclude the world champions, because it's like, how do you, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense to add them, you know? But, like, as far as excluding them, I think some of the shakeup ideas were good. Like, moving Bray Wyatt to SmackDown. I'm actually alright with that. But I don't like a majority of the picks, because Sasha Banks is now on Raw. Or, sorry, SmackDown. Braun Strowman is now on SmackDown. I don't want to watch either of these two. And I actually look forward to my Friday nights to watch SmackDown. And now it's like, both of these two are going to be on my show. It's like, I don't want to see that. And that was a weird noise I made. But, like, just to tell you how much I hate these two. John, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm just listening.
Oh, sorry. Just to tell you how much I hate these two characters, let me put it to you like this.
Wait, Braun and who else?
Braun and Sasha Banks. If I were to see both of them hanging off of a cliff, and both of them were to reach one hand to me, I would step on Braun Strowman's hand to high-five Sasha Banks, and then I'd just walk away. That's how much I hate these two characters. Because it's just like, these two do nothing for me. And they're honestly obnoxious characters. They're obnoxious, like, they're not booked correctly. And, like, the fact that these guys are who's over, it's like, I don't know, I don't see what the fans see. That's just me, though.
This is just the Braun thing. And then every goddamn time that he does that stupid run around the ring thing, and then Michael Cole's like, if you haven't seen this yet, you're coming in for a real treat. Look how athletic he does. Imagine if he was on a football team.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, so I'm like, okay, first of all, this is like the third SmackDown. No one new was watching wrestling. I'm sorry, Michael Cole. No
Yeah.
one's new is watching wrestling. The ratings went down already because the first one had a lot of people that were gonna be there. They wanted to see mostly The Rock. Okay,
Yep.
everybody that's an old fan that doesn't watch SmackDown anymore or any WWE at all wanted to see The Rock. So they're gonna tune in to see The Rock, and I'm pretty sure after The Rock left, they probably tuned out.
Yeah. And that's pretty much true because the whole reason I went to SmackDown was because I wanted to see The Rock. And I was actually, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed at The Rock's segment. At the same time, I liked it, but I was a little bit disappointed by it. Just because, like, Randy Orton was tweeting a match with The Rock, and I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds good, but we'll get to that later.
I thought he was gonna have his own segment. He was just thrown in, like, he was like half Becky Lynch's segment with a little bit of Baron Corbin. But I was like, this should have just been The Rock then, and then maybe teased the match, or like have Randy Orton beat him up after.
Yeah. Honestly, like, imagine seeing Randy Orton give an RKO to The Rock right now. Like, right after that segment, I actually would have been kind of intrigued by that. Like, I would have been like, oh my god, I cannot believe this just happened. But they stuck him in an 8-man tag. It's like, what?
8-man tags are the best.
I swear to God, I hate 8-man tags. Like, I honestly have started to hate multi-man tags. They're just so boring now. Like, they're just, it's all the same stuff. And it's like the bad guys always lose. Everybody gets like 1 or 2 spots in, and then, then that's it. That's all it is. But yeah. Okay, so anyway, going back to Braun Strowman, I hate that too, the whole runaround thing. I think it's stupid. Then again, I hate anything Braun Strowman does because it's just not entertaining to me. It's just a big jacked up guy who really doesn't do much. I feel like, and then the whole
the Drew Gulak thing last week, or this Friday, was he just squashed the poor.
I missed it. What happened?
Cruiserweight champion. He just treated him like crap and just beat him like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And he like botched when he did the spin around, he botched it and fell on Drew Gulak.
Oh, what an idiot.
But then just beat the former Cruiserweight champion like he was nothing. So that's just like, and then I don't know, Braun beats like tag teams, other champions, but then he loses for like the world champion. It's like, why are you pushing this guy, ruining others, just to end his like reign of terror? And then they're like restarting it once again. Then he's gonna have another world title match, and then he's gonna lose again.
It's like, what's even the point of that? Yeah, like, why does a guy like
Cesaro under the bus? Just
yeah,
him.
Yeah. So, like, why does a guy like Cesaro have to be thrown under the bus to put this guy over, only for him to lose to another guy? Like, it's just so stupid to me. And to lose to a guy who doesn't even need the win. That's probably the worst part about it.
It's pretty goddamn dumb. And then, okay, so I'm telling you, like, say draft overall. Where did Samoa Joe go? Raw or SmackDown? Whatever,
you know what? I don't think they mentioned Samoa Joe.
They did, like, on the last day. Sometimes there's like random picks, and like ahead of, I guess, other people. Like they put like Andrade. God, when they just say Andrade, it sounds so dumb. They should just add the Cien Almas. It sounds so much more clean. Like, he was like a higher pick than like some champion. I forgot, like the tag team champions. But I'm like, are you gonna use him now? Is he worth that much? The man loses every time. He's never
Mm-hmm.
won anything. He just pretends to be Eddie Guerrero when he faces Ray, and that's about it. But then
Mm-hmm.
he ends up losing to him anyways. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it was like really it was like they did like that one time where they was it one time where they like put the balls in and then they pulled the ball out and that was like the superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels so random sometimes. This time, like the first day, it seemed pretty good because they get all the champions or they get all like they get Roman Reigns or Braun Idiot. Um, like it felt better, and then it got kind of like, oh, it's just a draft time. Like it got worse by the end, where you just didn't even care.
Yeah, I think that like I don't know. I think they don't know what to do with Braun. I feel like they're just like in and out with him. Like they pick him for a good for like a good what's it called? Uh what the fuck am I trying to say here? They have him for like a good run, and then like I don't know, they don't want to pull the trigger on the guy being a world champion, so they just pull out. It's like I don't know, like just 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 hurry up and do it already. Cause like I don't want to see him world champion, but I'm tired of this
It's
whole wishy-washy game with him.
it's like they build him up just so he could lose to somebody to build them up. So that's basically it. But
Yeah.
at that point, you don't care anymore. Like then it didn't help Rollins at all because the man choked several times Brock or I mean Braun against Brock against freaking Roman Reigns. It's
Mhm.
just he loses all the time. So what's the point of building this big guy up if he's just gonna lose every time? It's just pretty dumb. Like why would you do that?
Mhm.
What's the big point of doing something so stupid like that? And any fan with a brain, other than a kid, is gonna know that Braun's gonna lose. Even as a kid, I talked to this kid one time. He saw my shirt. He started talking about, and we talked a little bit about wrestling. And I was like, he's like, I like Braun, but he loses all the time. I don't care about him anymore. I'm like, a kid said that. I'm like, even a kid's figuring out what the hell's happening here with Braun. So there's no point. What's the point
Yep.
of him? He's just a crowd. He's like a
He's a crowd
pops the
pleaser.
crowd. Yeah, but then keep him as a crowd pleaser. Don't ruin him every time.
Yeah,
Or
just
don't. I mean, or don't like. I mean, don't ruin others like all the time.
yeah. I think that like I think the way I see it is you gotta. There's no such thing as half pregnant, as Vince McMahon would say. Either go all the way in, or get the fuck out. Stop playing this wishy-washy bullshit. Um, and like, I just think that like, it seemed like they were finally doing that with Bray Wyatt. They weren't they weren't doing this whole, oh, maybe we might push the Fiend one day and then we'll stop pushing him the next day. No, it seems like they're actually being consistent with the guy, and we'll get to him later. But I feel like Braun Strowman, his time is up. It's over for him. No more. He's become the Bray Wyatt now. Where, oh, excuse me. Where he's doing some. He's being made to look cool, and then he's going to lose. And then he's being made to look cool, and then he's going to lose. I just hate everything that they have Braun Strowman. Pardon me. I hate everything that they have Braun Strowman do, from this whole Tyson Fury bullshit to just his character. And I think once they finally realize that, hey, we got guys like Samoa Joe, which, by the way, Samoa Joe's on Raw now. I just looked it up. But yeah, so like once they realize they got guys like Samoa Joe who people can actually take as a legit Samoan son of a bitch, like, you know what I mean? Like,
He's been kind of ruined him, to be honest. He's had so many title matches that he's just like a pay-per-view guy, or like they're like, oh, we need this champion to beat someone. Oh, Samoa Joe. Oh, Samoa Joe. He's done that with AJ and Kofi and like, it's just, it's stupid now. Actually, I think he did it with someone else, I think the Universal champ. Yeah.
Ironically, Brock Lesnar. But the thing,
Brock Lesnar.
yeah. But the big difference between Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman is you don't have Braun Strowman doing comedy shit, like, or you don't have Samoa Joe doing comedy. He's actually like a legit badass tough guy, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, like he's gonna choke you out and put you to sleep. Whereas Braun Strowman is just gonna
kiss you.
Basically, like, Braun Strowman is just, you're gonna get these hands, and it's like, okay, that's all he does is he just yells, but you know what I mean? He yells and harasses you and gets all mad, but he's not actually going to, like, win. You know what I mean? Whereas Samoa Joe, like, I think that you can still build him up as a legit tough guy, and, like, you know what I mean, actually have people like, he can actually choke some people out. You know, he almost made Brock Lesnar get choked out, and I think that's enough to, like, solidify the guy as, like, okay, this guy can take on anyone at any moment. My whole thinking is, yeah, you're right, they did kind of ruin him, but I think that he's still salvageable a little bit. What do you think? Do you think he's no longer salvageable, or do you think that there might be something for him?
No, you could salvage him. When he was U.S. champion, he was doing really good, actually. With his reign of, like, what do you call it? He was doing really good. He was beating people every, like, night, and then he lost to Ray for like a day, and then he beat him again, which was good because he's like, oh, I'm not gonna get upper hand this time. And then after Ricochet, he kind of just fell apart. But I think if they could build him up again, I do believe that. And he doesn't do the comedy stuff, like, and we'll talk about the Tyson Fury crowd cringe fest. That is later, but okay. yeah, you could do that.
Yeah,
you could build him up.
I think all you need to do, well, he's on Raw now, so I was gonna say put him in another program with Brock Lesnar, but yeah. Well, then all you need to do, I think, is, like, I don't know. Like, I want to say, like, have him go up against, have him defeat Seth Rollins, but I still feel like, well, actually no, because the Fiend is on SmackDown. Okay, so yeah, all right, you have Seth Rollins beat. Pardon me, I have to burp really quickly. Sorry if you guys heard that. Okay, so I think what you need to do is the next night on Raw, after Seth Rollins defeats Bray Wyatt, because that's going to happen, you have Samoa Joe choke him out from behind, and then you have Samoa Joe go around and torment the guy. But that's assuming he gets off injury. So this is all just hypothetical. So Samoa Joe gets off injury, he's cleared to compete, and they're ready to push him. I think the first thing you have him do is you have him choke out Seth Rollins the next night on Raw. And then the next week, you have Samoa Joe beat the living hell out of Seth Rollins backstage. And then you have him threaten to choke out Becky. And then Seth Rollins, you know what I mean? Like, he plays with Seth Rollins a lot. Mind games. Because that's what his character is good at. Mind games. So if you have Seth Rollins do all these things, then I think there should be no problem, you know what I mean, building him back up. But that also has to include that Samoa Joe wins the Universal Champion. But that's just my thinking on it. Did you want to talk about the Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman right now, or did you want to wait on it still?
How do you feel about Tyson Fury? Also, Cain Velasquez, which I don't understand this. Like, first of all, the Cain Velasquez and the Brock Lesnar. It would have been fine if Brock Lesnar wasn't WWE champion. Like, I think it would have been better because there's no stipulation, there's no nothing. If Brock loses this fight, then WWE in general, because the Brock Lesnar beats everybody. He's beaten everybody. Apparently, this thumb man can beat every single human being in the world. If he loses this fight, it's gonna look super stupid and make WWE just look very weak. And then if Cain Velasquez loses, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just in like a cringy situation.
Just a no-win situation, huh?
Oh, Cain Velasquez, you fake lost. He's like, but he could just go, yeah, I fake lost. I didn't really lose. I just, got paid like $15 million. But I actually beat Brock Lesnar, so, in like a real fight. And then with the boxing with Tyson Fury, they had like a signing on SmackDown.
I saw that.
That was super cringy. Which is him like smiling and don't even know he's about to laugh. Which I guess Michael Cole's like, oh, he's just not scared of him or whatever. I just think that Tyson Fury just is laughing because he thinks this is stupid, and he doesn't take the seriousness of like a wrestler does. Because it's boxing, it's wrestling, they're different. It's a different thing when you go from one thing to another thing. It's kind of like you don't take it so seriously. At least Ronda Rousey, I could give it to her that she came in and she did take it seriously, and she didn't look like she just was there to be there and be happy. Oh, the ring, hi. No, she looked like she actually wanted to be there, and she really tried. And this guy doesn't care, and I hope this guy doesn't get any more. I hope these two things are one and dones, because if I get more fighters in WWE, it's annoying. I hate that. Especially with a cringe man that could, like Tyson Fury, and with his like suits with no shirt on. I don't understand that. And then they both, I'm sorry. Okay, Tyson Fury, he's tall, I get it. He's like 6 whatever. The man is a twig compared to Braun, honestly. He's not like I guess he's like a big boxer. And a boxer's not like, don't have to be so jacked because it's boxing. It's more just how long he can last in the fight. But it's still like, he doesn't really look the part for wrestling.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Both of them have dad bods. Because I'm pretty sure both of them are like ending their career or one of them has.
Yeah. I'm sorry, did you have more?
People in Saudi Arabia, do they even know who these people are? Do they watch UFC?
I don't know, but apparently it's
boxing?
I don't know at all, but apparently it's expected that these guys are going to carry the main event, or that's what WWE is expecting. So I don't know, but
that's a big they're gonna do that. I'm like, because half the time, like even when they're in Saudi Arabia, they don't even know most of the wrestlers. They don't. They don't cheer or anything unless it's someone that's old.
Or someone that they like Roman Reigns or John Cena.
Yeah, I mean like the big people, the people that have been there for long, like Hulk Hogan, or when they get like a big cheer for him, or Roman Reigns, or Brock Lesnar, like anybody that's been there for a long time, and is like a big star. And other wrestlers, they don't even know, like they don't care really. because for some reason, I don't know, I don't know if it's racist. Um, they only like two wrestlers. They only like John Cena and Roman Reigns. They don't only they only like
Or
three
Triple
wrestlers.
H.
They like I don't understand. They only like three wrestlers or something. They only
What?
like I don't understand how. But they don't bring anything new. They're like, oh no, Roman is best. Roman is the best wrestler. Roman best. And I always see them in the comments. Yeah, Roman best. He wins. I'm like, okay, what the hell?
You know, that's part of the reason I hate these Saudi Arabia shows is because like they're never like they're all the same. Like it's all just like, okay, you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna have one little blast from the past match, which I don't mind blast from the past because I think like, okay, it's kind of refreshing to see different matchups you haven't seen either in a while or you haven't seen ever. So I don't mind those. And of course, I always want every show to be as good as possible. But you get the battle royal, you get the couple matches here the predictable ones where you know someone's gonna win. You know, like Okay, I'm sorry.
It's one big live event with a one like unexpected main event.
Yeah.
This should be a live. Why do they take pay-per-views away? A pay-per-view away for this Saudi show. No one likes Saudi shows unless you live in Saudi Arabia. There's no point of these Saudi shows. First of all, they're like on a Saturday, like in 8 in the morning, or they're like on a Friday in like 8 in the morning when everybody's working or going to school.
Seriously.
No one can see it unless you live in Saudi Arabia or by there. No one's gonna see this crap. No one wants to go back and watch this crap because it's probably already crap in general because it's like one big live event that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I don't want to go see a live event pay-per-view. Like, who cares? Like, I don't want to see that. I would rather go just see a live event when it comes to my town. And
Yeah.
have the same outcome and experience. There's no point in broadcasting this worldwide if you're just pleasing Saudi Arabia people. There's no point. And there's no point in doing that.
And it's like, if it's really about the money, you can have a super showdowns in Canada or England where the biggest wrestling fans literally live. You know what I mean? And everybody is welcome. This is also the thing that pisses me off. Yeah, and this is the thing that pisses me off the most is that the women are not allowed to wrestle there, and neither is a guy like Sami Zayn, a guy who I actually want to see compete. So it's like, I'm really like getting ripped off, I feel like. I'm not getting, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not getting everything I want.
That's why, like, it should not be a pay-per-view. It should be something, they should just hold a regular pay-per-view in different countries, like England, or or Canada. They should just have more pay-per-views worldwide, and it's fine. But don't do the Saudi pay-per-view. No one likes them. If you're just pleasing, does that, whatever his name is, Mr. Tamil, I don't know his name. I don't care. But they have to announce him, and even though no one cares outside of Saudi Arabia, because no one cares about this dude. He's messed up. He doesn't. The country's messed up. No one. They're like one of the very few countries that are like that still. Everybody else is fine. They're all current date. And it just. Does that guy say, "I want this broadcasted. I want everybody to see it. I want to see them jealous or something"?
Yeah, it's actually him who's like calling the shot, saying, "Okay, I want Hulk Hogan for this match." Or
no, I know that, but does he ask to broadcast this?
I don't know.
Would it be fine just to do this as one big live event for them and for them only? And who cares? They can broadcast it to just the Arabian people or whatever over there. But why does he go request, "I want this to take a pay-per-view spot," and I want this to be broadcasted. I want my name to be announced and the camera to be shown on me, and I want the world to see me, who I am. Like, what the hell? Like, what's the point? They don't need to broadcast that. They don't. They could just do another pay-per-view instead. They could go take 2 days to do that, just like they take like every week. They have live events everywhere. Why can't they just do that? And then come back and do Raw and SmackDown, and then do a pay-per-view on Sunday?
You know, that's a really good question. I wish that there was like a more clear answer to that, other than, oh, it's just for the paycheck. But that's all I can honestly see. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
And I hate that it's become a joke now that if a wrestler says, oh, I can wrestle tomorrow if I wanted to, everyone thinks, oh, this person coming back to Saudi Arabia. Like, Stone Cold Steve Austin is not going to come back to Saudi Arabia.
A lot of people, and a lot of people are seeing that, like, other wrestlers that did come back, like Shawn Michaels, you could tell that man hated it. Because he even said it on freaking SmackDown or whatever.
He said it was embarrassing.
He was embarrassing. He said he shouldn't have done it. He said that he shouldn't have done it, like, on podcasts and interviews. He said he should have never done it. He should have just stayed retired. And I'm pretty sure a lot of wrestlers are, like, starting to think, like, hey, I'm not gonna do this now. I'm not gonna because for a lot of people probably got requests to come back, and they just like say no, you know. Take the advice from the other people that got conned in.
Seriously, and a lot of people are having like some bad luck. I mean, look at the whole Undertaker Goldberg match. I felt so bad for him when I saw that. I was like, God damn, the dude got concussed and he's getting heckled for it? Like, fuck. Give the guy a break.
And then he had a Chronicle thing.
Yeah.
And that he said, like, yeah, that was like a big disappointment of a match. And he even admitted it. Again, another, like, legend that admitted it. Like, it's stupid. There's no point for that one. He even said that one. Like, then he, like, for a SummerSlam match, he's like, I want to redeem it. This one's for me. This one's a real one. Like, it feels like he took it more serious. Because a lot of people, it does feel like it's just the paycheck, and I hope the people are smartening up and stuff, and people are, and they're not going to do it now. That's why they're, like, trying to get other people now, it seems like. Like Tyson Fury or Cain Velasquez. They can't. Pretty sure a lot of legends are going, nah, maybe not.
Yeah, I think so. As far as, like, okay, so, like, my thoughts on the whole Cain Velasquez Tyson Fury things, it's a tale of two opinions, to put it simply, because I have two completely different stances on both situations here. Because with Cain Velasquez, okay, I will actually defend Cain Velasquez's thing, whereas opposed to Tyson Fury, no, I'm not going to defend that. And here's why. Cain Velasquez, I didn't mind so much because he's actually a name, one, and two, they also tried to make a story out of the whole Cain Velasquez thing. You know, they actually said, oh, I'm Rey Mysterio, I'm Dominic's godfather, or something like that. You know, so, like, okay, now you have the connection. Now you see why Rey Mysterio brought in Cain Velasquez. Now you see what's going to happen. But on that same note, I will agree with you, John, that it really does not make sense that that Cain Velasquez is going to be brought in to either lose to Brock Lesnar, so that way everyone's like, oh, well, the Brock Lesnar got the win, or for Cain Velasquez to come to WWE just to make the WWE look like an entire joke. It's like, either way, it's a no-win situation. So at least there's something to be said for as far as the Cain Velasquez thing goes. But the Braun Strowman Tyson Fury thing makes no sense to me. It makes no goddamn sense to me. this guy who probably doesn't give two shits about wrestling is coming in to do what? A match with Braun Strowman, so that Braun Strowman can win. And the sad thing is, I feel like I have to root for Braun Strowman on behalf of the pro wrestlers. And the thing is, I don't even like Braun Strowman, so it's like, I don't know, it's just, the whole thing's a waste of time. I don't like either men. I don't like the storyline. I didn't even know that Tyson Fury was a man that existed up until about,
Yeah, I never knew who this guy was.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, I just feel so, like, I feel like I'm wasting my time if I were to watch it, which is why I'm not going to watch it. Hell, I don't even think I'm going to watch this Saudi showdown thing. Unless you put an actual, like, name that's worth watching, like an actual matchup that's worth watching, but I haven't seen anything that's, you know what I mean, like, that I actually want to see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I haven't watched the past 2 of them. And how many years is this contracted?
I think 5 years.
Oh god, that's a long 5 years. It's only been a year, and now it's gonna be 2 years. They're getting worse by the minute, too.
I know.
And I hope that Vince doesn't re-sign, but God loves money, that man. Even though he's a billionaire, he doesn't need any more money. And this is what's killing their product. Also, people don't like them. All in the comments. You're losing fans by doing this.
You're losing fans. Your PR is bad. Like, dude, people are not stupid. They can see, like, you want it for money. And people are sitting here saying, oh, this is blood money. Like, do you really want that reputation?
Just to, like, please a few, I guess, just to please some man just a man, like, because I'm pretty sure most of those people don't even know who these guys are at all. Like, is wrestling even really popular over there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, really, like, I'm pretty sure most people are just going because they're probably, I heard, like, the tickets are, like, cheap.
Oh, really?
They're cheap. So, like, why wouldn't you go, see a cool show that comes every once in a while?
Yeah.
Just to go see it because it's there.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I don't mind some of the matches. Like, I think the matches that Triple H have had are pretty okay. Like the ones with Randy Orton and John Cena. But other than that, like, I don't see the appeal to broadcast this, because it's like, why? So I can see an old legend come back to tarnish his legacy? I'm good. I'm really good on that. I don't think I want to.
Yeah, I just hope this crap ends, and I wish these were like just house shows for them. It's fine. They pack a lot of people, so that's enough. Like, they could freaking put it on CDs and just sell them to other Saudi people if they really want to see the show.
Yeah, that works.
But here's a DVD.
There. Come on, Super Blood Money 4.
It's just so bad. The shows aren't good either, so there's no point of doing this just for money that's painted anyways. Like, I don't understand, and so many people, like, back out on it. It's, like, crazy. Like, freaking people like Daniel Bryan doesn't even want to go.
Yeah.
The first time, but then that second time when someone literally got murdered there.
What? Someone got murdered there?
Someone high up in I think I don't know what country he was from, but he was supposed to be talking there, or to explain with more people up in the higher, not WWE at all, in the, I can't think of it.
In their presidential,
Yeah, kind of thing.
Okay.
Or
In their
like
government,
some-
sorry.
Yeah, like
In their
government kind of
presidential.
stuff. Like government kind of stuff. And
But yeah.
the guy got like murdered,
Wow.
and they were like, they're not gonna go. They're not gonna go. And Vince is like, the show must go on. And I'm like, why? So many people backed out. Like Daniel Bryan, he's like, I don't want to do that, and so they ended up doing the WWE Championship on SmackDown instead, and he ended up losing. It was a good match, but he ended up like losing and stuff, and then they ended up doing Samoa Joe again, which they had done like twice already. So again, like Samoa Joe's just there to lose sometimes, and so. Yeah, people don't like doing it. People are starting to not do it, and I think even John Cena pulled out.
Yeah, John Cena did pull out. He pulled out specifically to support Daniel Bryan. And it's funny you say that because, I was under the impression that Daniel Bryan actually pulled out because Sammy wasn't allowed. But, that's okay. You learn something new every day. But,
it's just so bad. Like, if wrestlers don't want to do it, that's even worse. Because they're just showing how stupid it is, and everybody like Jericho said, like when he did the first one, he didn't want to do it. He honestly didn't want to do it. He said that like he doesn't like it over there. He doesn't see the way they see, which probably no one does.
yeah.
And he was like,
did Jericho even go?
He went to the first one.
Oh, he did.
And they, like, literally, like, he said, like, they begged him, and they paid him so much money, like, just to go, like, just for, like, just an entrance in the Royal Rumble thing. Like, it was that bad.
It's
just, like,
that, yeah.
Begging for him to go. Because it's just, and he said it was a terrible experience, and it was terrible being there. So it's just like, what the hell? What's the point? It's just the people that go now are just the people that can just look behind it, I guess. Don't really care.
Yeah.
But like people like Daniel Bryan and John Cena seem like really heart, like to the heart kind of people. Like they really care.
They're good people, yeah.
Yeah, especially Daniel Bryan with him being so eco-friendly and everything. You wouldn't dare to do something like that. And John Cena, he's a nice person. He wouldn't want to do that, even for the kids. But also, he doesn't want to ruin his PR. Definitely always, he's been, doing movies now and doing interviews and going on Ellen. So I'm pretty sure he doesn't want going after some murder happened in Saudi Arabia and go support the Saudi Arabians with that and go entertain the person that I think requested to kill him was sitting there in that arena. So.
And I'm sure, I'm sure it's not even just, I'm sure it's just, because at heart, he doesn't even like it either. I don't think anyone likes it over there.
No. I don't think anybody really does.
And I wonder, if this is going to lead to, a protest between the wrestlers, to tell, hey, we don't want to do Saudi Arabia no more. Because there's so many, restrictions. From what I understand, a wrestler can't even show the bottom of his feet or something like that. That's what I heard on a podcast. I was like, what? Is that right? So how are they going to step? How are they going to stomp? How are they going to, do super kicks? I wonder, how does that work in a wrestling match,
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think the whole thing is just so stupid. I just think maybe one day, when this is all said and done, I hope the WWE doesn't re-sign another contract with these guys after these 5 years or whatever. You know, because it's like a show like this is way too risky. And especially when you could be having shows in Canada and England and Texas and even Mexico, like where there's actual people who, you know what I mean, who are genuine wrestling fans who want to see the style of wrestling, who want to see like, and they don't discriminate either. So like they'll want to see a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura or Sami Zayn or whoever, even if they're from Syrian descent, even if they're from Latin descent, even if they're from Japanese descent. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But like, yeah, I just get like, every time I like hear about one of these shows happening, I get like bad vibes off of it. Like I just don't. Hell, I don't even want to watch these shows because it just feels so bad. Like something bad is gonna happen. That's the kind of vibe I get from watching these. You know, and like, one thing that also makes me wonder is like if a heel goes too far and says something disrespectful, what's the Saudi prince or whatever gonna think? You know, like I just, yeah.
So now after Saudi, let's talk about what you say about like disappointing SmackDown.
Yeah. So wait, are we good on the draft now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So the trend of SmackDown, like, how do you feel like SmackDown has been these past couple weeks? Do you feel like it's been good as it should have been, or do you feel like it's been the same?
Honestly, I haven't even been watching it really. Like, there's the first one wasn't even like good, so why do you watch it? Like, Raw and SmackDown, I think it's complete crap still. It just feels so thrown together all the time. And then with the SmackDown has just been like laying out matches randomly. They plan the whole show ahead of time, and then tell everybody like, oh, this is gonna happen. Which I understand, I guess. But there's like no build up or anything. Just like Shinsuke Nakamura versus Roman Reigns. Okay, how, when, and why? Like, what the hell?
Because I guess they had some sort of Twitter rant, something like that.
This is what this. Yeah, I get social media is a big part of our life. I don't go on Twitter. I don't go on Instagram hardly. I don't go following everybody saying, "Oh man, these people are arguing. I want to see a fight between them." No one, and kids don't see it either, or old people or adults. So who really sees this? Like,
You know what I think? This is the only way that I think it would work, is if you see on screen they start bickering first, and then you have them do the damn thing on Twitter or whatever. Like how Becky Lynch and Edge did it, where like you saw her on the cutting edge and you saw her talk some shit to Edge, and now they're chopping back and forth on Twitter or whatever, you know. But like, I don't know. I just think the whole thing is stupid too. Like I don't read Twitter. Like I didn't follow any WWE wrestlers aside from Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura, so that's how I knew this whole thing was happening. But I don't know. Like I just think the whole thing is stupid. How like you have have to build a match on just this, you know?
I'm relying on social media.
Yeah.
I want some real stuff. I want
Yes.
people actually fighting.
Yes.
And then in a DQ by Baron Corbin, Baron Corbin, he's been okay. I get it, King of the Ring, whatever. But then he gets beat up by The Rock. So what's the point of King of the Ring? If this man just gets beat up by every single human being, becoming just the same. He's basically just a constable again. He honestly is. And then, like, sure, it was funny with The Rock, making fun of him and stuff. And then I'm like thinking, man, he really isn't worth anything, Baron. So this whole King of Ring tournament meant nothing.
And everybody was excited for it and all this stuff. Yeah, I agree. And that's just that's so stupid to me. Is like, out of all the guys who could have taken this ball and ran with it, you went with the guy who absolutely did nothing with it. And
they're not trying to do anything with it either.
And honestly, all I'm seeing that he's getting out of this is that he's slowly becoming a comedy character. Like, the guy's just like, oh, my testicles are perfectly adequate. Which I'll admit, when I saw that shit was hilarious. But, like, when it's all said and done, it's like, no one's gonna take you seriously.
Now, like, Baron loses all the time. Mm-hmm. His character seems okay. Like, honestly, if he didn't lose so much, and he was actually getting some momentum in King of the Ring. Mm-hmm. Before winning it, he was actually winning, and he has a good moveset. I do like his moveset, with the end of days and no one kicking out of that, and doing stuff. And before he's like a character that didn't care. Like, he was starting to become good. Like, ended up like giving freaking Becky Lynch the end of days. Like, he didn't care, and I thought that was pretty good. Then now he's like kind of becoming crap again. It's just like disappointing. Mm-hmm. And then again, like, the King of the Ring just doesn't matter anymore. And then and then again with the so he, like, I guess DQ'd the match, so that means there's gonna be a tag match later tonight with him versus someone and a mystery partner, which ended up being Daniel Bryan, because Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan are best friends now because they were mean to each other, but his other friend was more mean, and so now they're allies, which makes no sense.
I know. I don't even know what to say to half of these things. Like, how do you... I don't know, like, how do you think that, like, this is good storytelling?
And then they bring Luke Harper and Rowan back together just to lose and never come back. Which was pretty dumb. So what was the point of that? And then I don't even know what else happened on SmackDown. Other than that, and like a segment with Bayley and Sasha, so that whole like thing with Sasha and Becky and Bayley and Charlotte is just all over now. There's like no point of that. It's like it never happened. So they kind of lost their momentum, except Bayley, I guess, gained momentum.
Yeah, and I do like what they're doing with Bayley. I'll admit, like. At first I was like kind of curious, like, what are they gonna do with her? But like, I don't know. When I saw the whole life sucks and then you die, I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, huh, all right, interesting.
But she seems better. I like her emo look.
Yeah.
But like tearing apart the like things and winning the champion, which is pretty good. I did admit that. Yeah, like a change of heart, like a change of ways, and then there's like people like, good job WWE, you're making my kid cry. I'm like, oh my god, you better be kidding me. You really gotta be kidding. And then this is why nothing ever gets done, because people like that are like, oh, my kid's crying. Like, good job, good on you, WWE. Or my kid can't watch this anymore. Okay, this kind of stuff happened all the time when it was at its peak of viewage of like 8 million people watching at a time. So what the hell? Like,
it makes me wonder, like, it reminds me of when Bray Wyatt started doing the whole Firefly Funhouse, and I guess their stockholders were like willing to back out just because, like, we don't like Bray Wyatt, the character. He feels like he's becoming a star in the cult leader for children. Like, Shut up. No, he's not. He's just turning into a new character. He's having a new show. Just give it a minute. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different character. And honestly, if he was that bad, you guys would have pulled out a long time ago, because the guy's character has involved being a cult leader for a very long time. You know, I think people just look for things to complain about. That's all I think it is, because it's like, I don't know, like, how you get so offended over Bray Wyatt having a show. Like, shut up. And, like, the fact that Bayley's getting mad and, like, oh, she's changing her character to become a bad guy when there's plenty of good guys out there, it's stupid to me. It's like, yeah, she's supposed to make children cry. She's supposed to be the bad guy. She's supposed to be angry. Get a new character.
When Undertaker came out, like, I guess in the 90s, the kids used to, like, be scared and cry. I didn't really go, man, this Undertaker, too far, dude, too far.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. No, they don't
or,
care.
like,
Undertaker's cool.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, people are too sensitive these days. Like, just, it's stop it. It's a character. It's TV. You know what I mean? I'm sure, like, I don't know, I'm sure kids watch worse things out there.
Yeah, like this channel.
Okay, yeah, that's alright. Yeah, like this channel. But yeah, like, I think that, like, that, yeah, I agree with you. Like, that's part of the reasons why things don't get done. It's like, people want people to push the envelope, but it's like, the moment they do, it's like, oh, this is too much, this is too far, man. No, we don't want CM Punk to take fake ashes of Paul Bearer and pour them on The Undertaker. That's too far. It's like, And, like, I can get when someone says, oh, it's tasteless. Like, when they, like, I don't know, when they, like, make a really racist joke, or, like, you know what I mean, when they have Jinder Mahal do, like, that little racist promo. Hell, anything Jinder Mahal does is offensive. His matches are more offensive to me than anything. But, you know what I mean, like, I mean, you don't see me going, oh, too far, man, I don't want to see this Jinder Mahal guy no more. Just change it up. That's all you gotta do. Or, you know what I mean, like, or if you don't like it, don't watch it. Seriously, whenever Jinder Mahal is on TV, I don't watch. I tune the fuck out. But, yeah, I just feel like people are just looking for things to complain about. And most of these people need a new TV show to watch. Like this channel. Alright, but yeah, as far as SmackDown goes, I don't know, like, it was good for a little bit, but, like, I want to say ever since SmackDown 20, it's just been disappointing. Like, there's literally been episodes where nothing has happened, and, like, it's just been the dumbass draft, which we saw was disappointing, and I don't know, it's just like, it's just a whole bunch of negativity. I'm like, I don't know, like, I hate being a WWE fan, and, like, knowing that, like, the show I watch is just always, like, going to disappoint me. I don't know. Alrighty. Well, that's my piece. Did you want to say anything else, John?
No, just SmackDown has been disappointing lately. They gotta step their game up. And, that's all, man. They just gotta do something. Paint it up a bit.
Alright, so let's get on to Randy Orton versus The Rock. It was teased because Randy Orton had tweeted The Rock about a possible WrestleMania match. I don't know if he just got the itch for this or what happened, but for one, it's a little bit random. But I'm actually kind of like up for that. I kind of want to see Randy Orton versus The Rock. Two third generation wrestlers duking it out. I'm alright with that. What do you think of that matchup happening in 2019?
I think it could happen. Like, it would be good. Now, the possibility of it happening is really low. You know, Rock has never... I'm surprised he even brought Rock for it. But that's because probably even Fox really got him to come. So, I don't think it's... I mean, it seems like The Rock is, like, gone past wrestling now. Like,
and he's even... Yeah, and he's even said in an interview that he's retired from wrestling. So it's like... You know, I don't think, like... I wonder if this was all Randy Orton's doing, or if they told him, or what's going on, but, like... I just kind of, like, wish, like... yeah, it's fine if you're gonna promote something like this, but as long as it's gonna happen, you know. And
I feel like the chances are really low.
Low. Yeah.
Maybe negative.
Negative. Dang. So Rock has more chances of staying at home and watching TV than going to Mania, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
I can see him doing like an appearance, but I don't see him doing a match or an actual match.
Yeah. I think like hell, like if you have The Rock do something for like 5 minutes, I'm alright with that. Like a 5-minute match, I don't care. Like give me a Rock match in 2019. But yeah, but I'm with you on that. I just see The Rock doing like having an appearance and that's it.
All right. He doesn't even mention wrestling anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, he doesn't. Well, then again, does he? I don't feel like he gets any more questions about wrestling anymore.
Yeah, probably not. Too many.
Yeah. Well, let's go on from the Randy Orton and The Rock. Let's talk about Shorty G or Chad Gable. I hate this. I hate this more than I hate...
Idea.
Yeah. Now, we're all the people who complain about Bayley, saying that, oh, WWE, the Shorty G is too far. Shorty too far. Like, come on, complain about this now, because this is actually, like... This actually bothers me. I don't like this. Like, it's like, what are we calling him Shorty G for? Why? Just call him Chad Gable and push the man as Chad Gable. I want to know, like, because WWE apparently trademarked this name. They actually went out of their way to trademark this name way before they started calling him Chad Gable or Shorty G. And it makes me wonder, like, did they actually think that this was going to get Chad Gable over? Like, what did you expect? Because when I think of Shorty G, I think of like this short, yeah, some rapper trying to be like all gangsta. Yo, I'm funky, fresh. Like, I'm from the '90s, yo. Like, that's what I think of. Like, I don't think of like, oh hey. A legit.
I don't know whose idea was that. It's just so stupid.
I think it's
unbelievably stupid. It's just like, how do you allow that? And how do you think that's so like cool? Are they just like trying to just embarrass him?
I have one guess for you, Vince McMahon.
Like, sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I just think that, like, this whole Shorty G guy has a short shelf life. No pun intended, but he does not have a big shelf life ahead of him. And then the moment they stop pushing him, and then their excuse is, oh, you guys don't push, you guys don't cheer for Chad Gable. Well, it's no wonder why, because we're not going to call him Shorty G. We don't want to call him Shorty G. he was perfectly fine as Chad Gable. Give us back Chad Gable. But yeah, I agree. Like, that whole thing is stupid. He's not. The guy is doomed to fail, and I think they're just trying to embarrass him or something.
The big joke.
Yeah, big joke. All right. Let's talk about the new 2K20 game. Are you gonna buy it?
No. Hell no, I'm not buying it.
Me neither. Fuck that.
And a lot of people in the comments have said that, like, they're not gonna be buying it.
Oh yeah, and I agree. I'm not gonna waste my money on that.
It's such a. I feel like some people are saying, like, I feel like it's getting lazier and worse every year, which it is. But like, even the gameplay and the graphics look worse each year.
Seriously, did you see the cutscenes for the My Career, the women's My Career?
Yeah, it looks god awful.
Yeah.
First of all, the story is disgusting. It's terrible. Then the graphics are horrible. It looks like she's in constant wind. And then I just don't even understand how you could just go like, yeah, that's a good idea. It just looks great.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Yeah, and like, it looks like it's PS2 graphics. There was a comment that said, it's so nice of WWE to release the new 2K20 game on PS2. I'm like, oh my god, that looks like PS2 graphics. I feel like I'm playing a game of the game Bully. I don't know if you remember that game.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's just like, it looks the exact same. That's how bad the graphics are. And then it's like,
this is so bad. Just for it's all it is like a little updated roster.
And you know, the sad part is they removed half the roster.
Really?
They removed a lot of people apparently. So they no longer have like some of the old retro characters. So like, they don't have Sting anymore. They don't have Masked Kane. And I think they got rid of a couple people, but then they added like some others, like Ciampa, they added him. I'm like, what? That's unbelievable to me. And then, like, I don't know, they don't add any new features to it. They didn't add, like, create a championship, which is something people want. People want create a storyline. People want different features, you know? People want a season mode where you can play as the regular characters. For me personally, and John, you know damn well what I want. That's GM mode. And it's like, I'm just like, I'm disgusted with how this game is. I haven't bought a wrestling game since 2K17. That's how bad these games have been. And I'm not wasting my money. The only way I play these games is if, like, my friends have this game. And then I'll just play with them. But yeah, I'm not getting this game. For damn sure I'm not getting this game.
I got 2K19 and it was pretty. I got it for like freaking 60% off, and I felt robbed after that. And then and I was like, Jesus Christ! It was months into the game, and there was so many glitches. I was playing as AJ Styles. I do like a springboard move, and I glitched through the ring.
That's crazy. How much did you say you got it for? Like $20? You told me? Yeah.
I still felt robbed. This could be a free game.
Yeah, I'm not. That is such a waste. I think they would have to pay us money to get this game. Like, that's how bad it is.
And I'll still feel robbed.
I'm not getting paid enough.
It's just that bad of games. They're not fun at all. They're not replayable at all.
Mhm.
You just want to just not play. I deleted 2K19 like about 2 weeks later because there
Yeah.
was nothing fun. The story mode, I honestly hate the story modes. They're so like crappy. And then with it's not even like it's such a like a scripted story mode. Like you only could do this, you only could do that. It's like you have to win, you have to lose at this point. It's like you have to do these things. It should be you go to like NXT, you build your way up, just like other games. You build your way up, and then you get called up. Then you should like get into storylines and win. And like they tell you to lose your U.S. championship. I'm like, what? Like what the hell? Or if you lose, you have to redo the match. Or
Mhm.
if you don't do this, if you don't do a certain move, you have to restart the match.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is not a story. This should be like, if I freaking lose, I lose my title.
Mhm.
It's just like that. And you just go out and just have another match and you get another championship
Mhm.
opportunity. That should how it be. It should be like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this. Oh, now you're the world champion at the very end. Congratulations. No, you should be able to continue and like have just this awesome like career.
Mhm. Yeah, like I just think that like I just think that like 2K has become money hungry and all they care about is collecting a check. That sucks to me. Um I think my whole issue with this game, the games, is that like you can't really play it for a long time without like, you know what I mean, without like wanting to like ditch the game afterwards. You know, like yeah, like there's a lot of glitches and stuff and there's all these things and it just adds up and it adds up and there's
Hello? You there, man? You just died. Rip.
hello.
Yeah, what happened?
Sorry, I guess I accidentally muted my own headset. My bad.
Yeah. So continue.
My whole issue. What was the last thing I said?
Just the game keeps adding up to be correct.
Yeah. So like so like it adds up and then there's no like replayability, as that's a now popular word to use in the gaming community, I guess. Like you can't really play the game for that long, like, you know what I mean? You play the story mode and once you beat it, okay, what's there to do? And then like people the thing I liked about GM mode is that there was strategy behind it. You actually like, you know, you had to compete with the other brand. You had to like worry about finances. You had to worry about like keeping your wrestlers happy. You had injuries to worry about. You could trade superstars if you needed to, or you could cut a deal with the other GMs. Like it actually felt like you had your own personalized roster to worry about, and you can actually get invested. And then people think that, oh, universe mode and GM mode are the same thing when it's not, because GM mode, or sorry, universe mode has none of that. It's just you have your own shows, and then you you have your rosters, and then you just have preset matches. It's like, I don't know, it's just boring. It's boring. There's nothing interesting about it to me. It's aimless. There's nothing salvageable. There's nothing creative about it. It's just aimless. And like, you know, like with GM mode, I could play that game. I could play that mode for literally days on end and keep trying until I win. You know, universe mode, I don't care about that. Or, you know, I had a guy on Twitter try to like tell me, oh well, you could still be challenged on towers mode or showcase mode or career mode.
I couldn't even play the tower mode.
I don't know what the tower mode is. I don't care about the tower mode.
It says like, so it's basically a gauntlet match, but like of 20 people. You get no extra health, no stamina. You just have to keep. If you get almost beat by the first wrestler, you're destined to lose. Because your character is tired. How are you gonna, unless you're so good at reversing everything, and you're like a complete pro at it. I don't hardly play the game. I just play it for fun sometimes. But I haven't played it since I got the game. But I never really,
I play it for fun sometimes. I haven't played it since I got the game.
I'm just saying, like, the first time I got WWE, I did that. And with this, it was just too hard for someone like a casual person, because I never got the reversals all the way down. I could never. I admit it. I lost sometimes. It's just how it is. So if you want a person to have a casual player to have fun, it's kind of stupid. And then you have to do like a submission. They put you in different stipulation matches, like a submission match with Samoa Joe after you just defeated freaking Daniel Bryan. And then if you're like someone like me, I have trouble with submission holds. I can't do that crap for the life of me. So I end up having like a 30-minute match with Samoa Joe, and finally beat him. And then like freaking Bobby Roode comes out and beats me with one DDT, and I'm dead, and I can't kick out anymore. Because like there's like a point where you just can't kick out because you're so tired.
So it sounds
it's impossible.
It sounds a lot like this match that they had. They used to have this match. It's in 2K14, and it's in SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. It's called Slobber Knocker, where you have like where you beat a wrestler, and then a wrestler comes out, and then you beat that wrestler, and then another wrestler comes out, and you keep wrestling until you lose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I don't care about all that. Like, I think, like, all that is so stupid. Like, that people want to use that as an argument. Like, okay, listening to your thing, like, I get that. Like, I completely agree with you. I think I think that's a ridiculous mode to have. If it's as a regular match, then yeah, but like as its own feature, no, it's stupid. I just think that like I don't know what to say. Like I think that the best thing to do like is to create a story. And GM mode, like those are the two new features. You could just mark it right there. Be like, oh my god, buy this game because we're bringing back these two features that everybody loved. But instead of doing that, they put like zombies and like unicorns. Like what the hell is that? I thought this game was supposed to be like realistic or sports like.
Yeah, that's not what it is.
At all. Like I don't want to play as Eddie Guerrero just so I can basically like yell and turn silver. Like that's something I saw. I'm like apparently Eddie Guerrero can turn silver now.
There's like a golden AJ.
Yeah, that's what game. What the hell? Like what? Like see,
it's not Mario Kart. Who cares?
Like, stuff like that is stupid to me. I don't want to see any of that. Like, I just want, like, I want, like, actual, like, I don't know, stuff that I can actually be interested in. Like, something I can actually invest in. I don't want to be a silver Eddie Guerrero or a golden AJ Styles. You know, that's just so stupid to me. And then like, and then the last thing is showcase mode. I think showcase mode is stupid, and here's why. Because, yeah, it's supposed to challenge you because you're supposed to get all these things back. But in the grand scheme of things, all showcase mode is you're just supposed to play as you're just supposed to play all these old matches you've seen on TV so that you know how the outcome goes. That's the stupidest thing to me. That's so stupid to me.
Yeah. Okay, so again, I played the Daniel Bryan showcase.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even get past the first one because it tells you to do certain moves that I guess that were in the thing and like certain spots, but it does not tell you how to do the spot. It tells you do this. It doesn't tell you what button, what combo you need to do. It just tells you to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to do it. I'm like, what the? How am I supposed to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Just like how in Money in the Bank or something like that. I think it was like Money in the Bank. In the story mode, you had to do some certain move on a ladder. You had to do like a signature on a ladder, or you wouldn't pass. Even if I grabbed that goddamn briefcase and won the match, it doesn't count because I didn't do that one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so stupid to me. And I think that, like, I don't know, like, I think that, like, replacing season mode, GM mode, and create a finisher and create a championship, which, by the way, they took off create a championship belt. I don't know if you heard about that.
They took it out?
Yeah. And I guess it's coming back in a patch or in an update. I don't know why they took it out. What the hell? But, like, yeah, it's like to take all of those features that everybody likes only for, like, showcase mode and originals and give us, like, Silver Eddie Guerrero and AJ Styles, which are things nobody asked for. I think that's
Zombie Braun.
Yeah, that's stuff like that is what's so mind-boggling to me. And I think that, like, I don't know, like, 2K really needs to learn to listen to their fans. Otherwise, they're gonna continue to get low sales on the WWE games. And what happens after that, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just like...
And like the only reason I feel like they sell like only collector's editions is because they throw something that like a true fan would want. People are not even paying for the game. Like they're just paying for what comes inside that box. Like a signature from a wrestler.
Like collectibles or whatever.
Yeah, mostly they're trying to throw like the best stuff now. Like a signature from like Kurt Angle. And for a true fan, you know, that sounds cool, yeah. You know, if you really like Kurt Angle and stuff, and you really want to sign, even though he didn't really put any thought of it, all he did was like give him like 1,000 papers. Here, sign this Kurt Angle. Which I feel like is not as meaningful as when you go and actually see the guy and be able to shake his hand and talk to him. And kind of he gets to meet you and you get to meet him.
Yeah, and then get a picture with the guy or something, yeah. You know, and I feel so stupid because when 2K17 came out, I came out for that deluxe edition. Not because I wanted all the collector's crap, but just because I wanted the extra characters like Shinsuke Nakamura and Apollo Crews because they were DLCs at the time. But yeah, and like really thinking about it, I paid $30 extra just for all this crap. I'm never doing that again. I learned my lesson the first time.
Something like that, like characters should be free, honestly.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why they charge us extra for characters that should be free and already in the game.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Pay for $5 to get Bobby Lashley.
It's stupid. And it's like, I don't know, like, you would think that, like, you know, instead of, like, instead of like, oh hey, we're gonna make VC so that you can unlock this guy who otherwise is DLC. You know, it's like, I'm glad that they're doing a virtual currency system right now to unlock certain guys, but I think that the guys who are also like DLC, they should be free, and then in order to really unlock them, you work up enough virtual currency just like any other guy, you know, or just have them be part of the game. Why are you gonna charge us extra? Like, why as a company that you're already making good money anyway, why do you have to make us pay extra? That's what I don't get.
There's so many problems with this game, and people wish that this company would die. I don't know why 2K had to take it.
It's because once upon a time 2K was actually looked at as a good company to like actually make do something with the games, and like people actually relied on 2K to actually like what's the word, like actually make the 2K games fun again, but that only happened one time, and that was in 2K14, and ever since then they've been doing nothing with these games. Nothing. And honestly, like, it just makes me wonder, like, what's even the point of getting this game or the next game or the next game if it's all just gonna be the same? What's even the point?
Yeah, just pick up. It's like a phone almost. You just like pick it up just for the little bit of change from the next year.
Yeah.
Even though they're all the same.
Yeah, pretty much. And like at this point, I'm not gonna waste money. And from what I hear, likely the next games, WWE 2K21, are gonna go on to the next generation consoles. I'm like, I'm not gonna spend an extra $600 or however much the PS5 is gonna be to buy a game that is not gonna be worth my time. You know, I'm just not. No, I'm not wasting that money. And then like, my whole thing is like, if you guys want to get my money, you guys are gonna actually have to like earn it. You're gonna have to earn my money by actually making a good enough game that's worth $60. Otherwise, I'm not buying it. And this game is not worth 60. This game isn't even worth 20.
This game's not even worth my time.
Yes! Yes! That's the best thing either of us have said all day. Aside from how bad this show is. But this game's not worth our time.
You're just wasting your time with that game.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, you know what's funny is that like everywhere across the board there are reviews of this game right now, and people are tearing the shit out of this game. Nothing new came out of it.
Dank Ops, or whatever his name is.
No, even Dank Ops ragged on this game.
Oh, really? The man that loves this game, those games?
Yeah! And that's how you know it's bad. When Dank Ops is saying, oh, this is a really bad game. Like, there's nothing new, there's nothing exciting about this, it's just goofy. And, like, even him, I'm like, you know, it's funny, I loved his interview. Which, by the way, did you watch his interview with 2K?
No.
Okay, so he asked them all sorts of questions, like, why didn't you promote your own game? You know what 2K said? We've been busy. Would you believe that? They've been too busy to promote their own game.
They've been too busy with their own game to not promote their... What?
Yeah!
What else are they doing?
I know!
They make 2 video games like a year. They make this 2K for
The
WWE.
NBA.
They make NBA.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's all they do.
And you know what the sad part is? Is that, like, they gave NBA, like, some actual requested features, from what I've heard. Like, I remember there was a while back when their NBA Twitter or whatever, they said that due to popular demand, my GM returned. Like, they gave a shit about the NBA game. But yet, the wrestling game falls behind. Why? Why? And, like, you know, like, it's not even just that, but, like, then the guy asks the interviews, the developers. He says, okay, well, why haven't you guys implemented certain games like GM mode or can we create a finisher? And their responses were basically nothing. They didn't give us anything new. They just said, oh, well, we've been too busy making the game. We're listening to the...
Copying and pasting.
Yeah! Basically. They didn't answer the question at all. They just said that it's a possible consideration in the future.
You know how long it takes to make Silver Eddie Guerrero?
Do you know how long it takes to change the menu layout? It takes a long time. We have to pick a color, and then we have to pick where we're gonna put the words, and then we're gonna pick what kind of letters. Like this just sounds like laziness to me. Like, this is your game. This is your money. This is what you guys are gonna get off of these games. Don't be stupid. Just make the customers happy. It's like my manager says, do you want the customers to come back one time, or do you want them to continue coming back? Well, dumbass, you want them to continue coming back. And it's like, instead of doing that, they just want people to, like, I don't know, they just want to lose people. They want to lose money. That's what I think it is. Because otherwise, I don't know what the point is in not adding anything. And it's come to a point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to just play the old PS2 games. And I've been doing that for the past year, and I'm just bored of... I'm not bored of it, but I'm like, goddamn, I want to play with an updated roster. Like, actually hear different music, too, sometimes. And, like, plays different... You know, and on the old PS2 games, you don't have community creations to, like, get legitimate, good-looking, like, guys. So, like, whenever I try to make a guy, it looks like ass. But at this point, that's all I have. I'm just making created wrestlers who are a lot like the current roster and just putting them on GM mode. That's all I'm doing, because I'd rather do that than play these dumbass newer games that don't give me any satisfaction. But yeah, I just think, like, I don't know, like, how do you guys think, like, this is 2K20? Like, this is supposed to be like a big deal to you guys. Oh well. Oh well. And I feel bad for whoever pre-ordered it. 'Cause yeah. Alrighty. Well, that's my... Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, John?
No, it was just pretty trash.
Yeah. Alright. So let's get on to Seth Rollins. Talk about his attitude and his new what do you... what do you even say to this? His universal title reign. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
What can we think about it? Well, his attitude, he thinks he's like God or something lately. Thinking he's like the best ever, and that WWE is the best ever. Even though it's not really anymore. He's just become so cocky. It's like he's almost like just a heel by himself. He's not a face anymore.
Yeah.
And then his reign, like I get he like defeated Braun and defeated freaking Brock Lesnar and stuff, which was good. Not bad. But then the beating Bray Wyatt, it just how he beat him was so stupid. Or he didn't even beat him. It's like a disqualification in a Hell in a Cell match. Where someone showed like Mick Foley like getting thrown off the goddamn cell and get chokeslammed through the cell. And that was okay to keep going, but no. Sledgehammer? Too far, man.
Yeah. I think, like, that ending was stupid. Back-to-back years, too. Back-to-back fucking years.
With freaking Brock? With the other one?
Yeah.
Him, coming in and just it not being anything?
He just gave Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman an F5. And then that ended the match. How stupid. Like, I don't even know what to say to these things. Like, how do you... I don't know. Like, how do you... How is just my question. Like, how is it that, like, a guy like... How is it that a guy like... who has like decades of knowledge with the wrestling business can be so out of touch with what people want? That's honestly all I got. I don't know, like, cause Vince McMahon knows what the fans want. Vince McMahon knows what's gonna get him money. And Vince McMahon knows what's good business. But somehow he has the gall to like hear refund chants, AEW chants. People are getting pissed, and he has the nerve to like reportedly laugh at all of this. I don't know. Now going back to Seth Rollins, I think the man is just... I don't know how to articulate what I want to say here. I think he should just get off TV at this point. Do a hard reset. Because it's like... I see this guy do nothing other than just bitch and complain online, and then he deletes his Twitter, and then he goes back to Twitter, and then he deletes it again, and then he's mad, and then he's criticizing the fans, and then like just shut up, get out of here, go kiss your own ass off social media.
Yeah, it's just so annoying how he's been. He's like a little kid.
Yeah, it's like... It's like I'm sitting here listening to one of the fans on Twitter or something. Now, Roman's the best! Now, WWE the best! Like, shut up, dude. We're allowed to feel a certain...
Podcast Legends is the best.
Yeah! It is! But... yeah, I just think that, like... one day Seth Rollins will learn, like, you know what I mean? Hopefully he'll grow up, because, shoot. I don't know. That's all I got on this whole subject.
It's just so bad, and I don't even know what his reign is coming into again.
I just think the guy should really not be champion. And it's like... Sorry, go ahead.
He's just like... I don't understand. Like, and he's like mega pushed right now.
Uh-huh.
I feel like the more trash he talks, the better he is, apparently.
Honestly, he really should just, like, be... They really need to just have a talk with the guy, sit him down, and be like, shut the fuck up. You're making us look bad. But, like, he doesn't just sit down and shut up. Like, he just everything has to bother him. Instead of just think, like, hey, maybe this isn't looking good. And it's like, I just think, like, some of these things would be common sense. Like, look at how Roman portrays himself. You don't see him going on Twitter to talk shit about, like, God knows what. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he might defend the company or when he's asked in an interview or something, but, like, you don't see him going overboard and above and beyond and saying all this stuff that does not need to be said. You don't see him attacking his own friend in John Moxley and saying that, oh, I think it was presumptuous of him to say what he said. No. You just let them have their own opinions, because his experience is not Seth Rollins' experience.
I used to have a hard time trying to say.
But I guess, I don't know. I think one day Seth Rollins will just learn, like... And Seth Rollins is also just not... He just doesn't seem like a good role model. Like I remember this whole story that came out a couple months ago when Caitlyn... Do you remember Caitlyn, John?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so her ex-husband, I guess, said that Seth Rollins would send her nude pictures of him while she was still married to him. Like, what man... Like, just thinking about this. What man does that? You know, like...
Definitely not a common man.
Oh my god, I wish the fans got these jokes. Someday all two of you fans that watch this show will...
All two of you.
Someday you guys will know.
That's gonna be one fan by then.
Like, 2 fans? I'm not gonna stick around for this. But yeah, I just think that with what they're doing to Seth Rollins, it's like, yeah, maybe this guy shouldn't be on TV anymore. Like, at least not as world champion.
He's trying to get booed now.
Yeah, he is, and with good reason.
Is he supposed to be the face of whatever? It's just like he needs to tone it down.
Yeah.
It's not real, bro. Calm down.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, like, it's good that he, like, apologized to whoever he apologized to. I think it was Zack Sabre Jr. or Will Ospreay, one of those two, over who's the better wrestler, and he brought up the whole bank account stuff. Like, okay, maybe he was done making a fool out of himself, but then he goes around and starts doing more shit. It's like, just stop. Saying that Sasha Banks underdelivers you know what you're getting into when you say stuff like that. And it's one thing if we say it because we're not in the wrestling business, but for a guy who works for the company to say that one of your own colleagues under-delivers, I don't think that's something you want to be saying in public.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Very unprofessional.
Yeah, it is. It's very unprofessional. Alright. Well, that's my piece. Do you have anything else, John?
No.
Alright.
Pretty much covered the band.
Cool. Alright, so one last thing. How do you feel about Bray Wyatt? How he's been since the whole Hell in a Cell stuff? How do you feel about the whole Hell in a Cell burning down? Or, sorry, the Hell in a Cell burning down. The Firefly Funhouse burning down. Well, with how the crowd reacted, the Hell in a Cell might as well have been burned down. It seemed like that's where the direction was headed.
It's just, I think Bray Wyatt can recover, maybe. I don't know why they had to do that with him. Like, oh, they want Seth Rollins still as a champion, but they're just gonna make Bray Wyatt look strong still somehow, which I don't understand. Like, what was the point? Why not? Why have the match then? They should just never had the program in the first place if they're not ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree completely. Like, I just think that, like, it was too soon. Unless they were gonna put the title on him, which I was actually all for, by the way. I was actually, yeah, I actually thought like, yeah, I thought that would have been really good because like everybody likes him, and the guy's like really indestructible. And then just the idea of Bray Wyatt being the chaser and not the chow, you know what I mean, the chaser and the champion at the same time. Like he just goes around terrorizing people for months, and he gets back at them for God knows what. Like that shit would be entertaining to me. But instead of doing that, like, you just had the guy. I don't mind like how the match went down, anything except the whole DQ, because how the match went down, it was actually pretty good. I liked a lot of it. People complained about the thousands of stomps and that the curb stomp looked really weak. But you got to keep in mind that this is really not about making the curb stomp look good, more as it's about making Bray Wyatt look good. Because the curb stomp is already a finish. People sell it like they just like had their whole world collapse. You know what I mean? Like people sell the stomp like they had an anvil dropped on their head or something. Like this is the same move that took down Brock Lesnar, not once but twice. So, you know, this is not a weak finisher. And plus, he didn't only kick out of the curb stomp, he also kicked out of the pedigree at 1. So, I mean, I guess you can, for those of you who, like, get mad about the whole thousands of stomps, you also got to keep in mind that I would argue that the pedigree looked worse out of this whole thing. And not even that, but, like, it's not that it looked bad, it's just, it didn't make... Did it really make the stomp look bad? Or did it just make Bray look unstoppable? It's all about perspective. And that's how I saw it. I think that the finish was stupid. Just because Bray Wyatt, like, Bray Wyatt should have just won. Okay, that's number one. But like Bray Wyatt, as he's been lately, I don't know how I feel about like people are no longer fans of Bray Wyatt because of what happened at Hell in a Cell, and because the guy got bitched out on his own television show. Like, no, tile it down. obviously you're adding dimensions to the character, because Bray Wyatt, you know what I mean? He's you know what I mean? The person he's seen on the Firefly Funhouse or whatever, he's the guy who's like, oh, okay, they're just, he's the soft guy, and then the Fiend is the guy you gotta look out for, or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what to say to all this. But John, what are your thoughts?
On what?
Bray Wyatt.
He's like, again, it made him look strong. They should have never just called off the match though. It kind of made Seth look like just beating up some poor innocent man of Bray Wyatt. He's like, dude, Bray, what are you doing? Why are you here? Because it's like the Fiend is like persona or whatever that comes out. So he's just beating up some random man, basically.
Yeah.
Just making Seth Rollins just like mean.
Yeah.
And now they put him in a weird spot, moving him to SmackDown though. Like maybe they should have extended the feud maybe on Raw. But now him moving to SmackDown, it's just weird. Like, what are they gonna do with him now?
Yeah. I think that whole thing is stupid. I think,
they
like...
kind of ruined him by that. That's what ruined him.
So you think that he's ruined?
Not ruined, but, like, it's kind of just, where do they go now on SmackDown? He had something on Raw. Now what? Let them wait and see.
Yeah. Well, I just think that they have a long way to go with all their guys, because no matter who you look at, like, everyone's kind of, like, bitched out now. And that kind of sucks to say, because, as much as I want a guy like Sami Zayn to be pushed, they have a lot of work to do with them. And same with really whoever, whether it's Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, whoever you want to mention. I just think that they really don't know what they're doing anymore as a creative team.
So, I think that's our thoughts on Mr. White.
Yeah.
I just hope they fix him. He's still redeemable. He's not ruined. It's just hopefully they give him something on SmackDown.
Yeah.
He had something on Raw. Now it's just him moving is just a bad choice.
Yeah,
I
you're
really
right.
don't see this man beating Brock Lesnar.
Me neither. Well, alright, that's gonna conclude the show, I suppose. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You guys were a wonderful audience. All one of you, because there was actually one guy who commented yo, and then alright, I just saw that. I'm like, alright, New Blitz 74, yo to you back, I guess. Even though you're not even tuned in anymore.
You haven't made it this far, but if you ever tune in back, well, welcome back.
Yeah. And welcome back as we're closing the show now.
And if you actually made it all the way to the end of the show, congratulations.
Congratulations. I don't know when you sent that, because I was not paying attention to the chat at all. Alright, do we have any buy or sells of the week, John?
Yeah, I'm gonna go buy some pizza right now.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Sounds good.
You know.
I'm gonna do the same.
Or do you want? Would you move Bray to Raw, or would you keep him on SmackDown?
I think I'm gonna buy on Bray staying on SmackDown and sell on him moving to Raw, just cause I think he needs a fresh face. I kind of want to see Bray Wyatt go up against Brock Lesnar. I think that will be interesting. Hopefully Brock Lesnar won't be scared shitless of Bray Wyatt every single time he sees him and starts screaming and stuff like Seth Rollins acts. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he'll beat Bray in 9 seconds.
Well, it's still longer than Kofi Kingston's match, probably.
What did you think of that when you went there? Like, because you went to SmackDown.
Yes.
You saw it live.
I saw that. My girlfriend and I were watching this, right? And I was telling her about this match. I was like, because like my girlfriend doesn't watch a lot of wrestling, right? And she only watches it with me from time to time. So I was just kind of filling her in on a little bit. That's Kofi Kingston. That's the guy. That's the guy who lasted an hour in that gauntlet match, and that he's the first African American world champion. I was like putting some stock in the guy, and then we saw Brock Lesnar. I was like, damn, Brock Lesnar is big. This is gonna be a good match, baby. Watch this. The first thing we see, she doesn't know what's going on, but the first thing I see is an F5. Kofi Kingston gets set up for an F5. All of a sudden, Kofi Kingston gets hit with an F5. I'm like, no fucking way. And like, she still doesn't know what's going on. But by that point, she knew the match was over because the ref had counted to 3. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, my mouth is open, and she's like looking at me. She couldn't believe this crap. I couldn't believe it. We were just like, what the fuck just happened? And this was the last match. We were both sitting here watching this, thinking like, are they really gonna end it like this? You know, and like, I'm sitting here like, why? Why did they do that? How stupid of them to do that. And so I saw that. I was baffled. I was befuddled. Completely befuddled at this, like, this was how they ended it. Kofi Kingston got no offense in. Kofi Kingston didn't do jack shit other than jump on Brock Lesnar's shoulders to set up for an F5. Like, for the... And I paid $200 for the damn tickets! I paid $200 to see this match! With that kind of money, shit, I would have ordered a jumper and have you and Christian replay the match, and I would have gotten it for cheaper. That's how pissed I was. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Like, I just thought, like, you know, if you're gonna have the match, that's fine if Kofi's losing, but give us an actual match, you know? Give us something we paid to watch.
After I saw that, I was like, damn. Eduardo's sitting in the crowd right now. I just wonder what he's thinking. Like, I felt robbed, and I watched it for free on TV.
Oh my god! Like, I'm sitting here laughing at it, looking back on it. And like, you know, it's funny, after the whole thing with Cain Velasquez, because I didn't recognize Cain Velasquez at first. I was like, what?
Really know who Cain Velasquez was?
Yeah, I just saw it.
I was like, see some bald guy. I'm like, that's not Dominic. Or Dominic got more chubby and aged 20 years.
Yeah, it's like, I just thought that whole thing was stupid. But like, yeah. So after the whole thing with Cain Velasquez, the crowd was chanting for Steve Austin. Because we were promised Steve Austin, we were promised Sting, and we were promised The Undertaker. We got none of them, even on a dark segment or anything.
I can't believe they didn't do Sting. They promoted Sting for the longest time.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things they announced.
Yeah. And I sat here and I actually wanted to see like Sting and The Undertaker in the ring, have a confrontation or something. Announce that they're wrestling at Saudi Arabia for the blood money or whatever. But, like, I wanted to see it. And, like, I was even telling my girlfriend, because, like, she's not into, like, all the, she doesn't really like all the horror stuff and all that. So I told her, like, she might get, like, creeped out by, like, the dark lights and all that. I don't know. And then, like, knowing Undertaker's entrance, he's probably gonna have, like, fire and stuff like that. I wanted to be there for the entrances. I wanted to see that live. And I feel like I was robbed. So, like, the fact that we didn't have no bonus match, no dark match, nothing. And I was telling...
I can't believe you guys get no dark.
Yeah, and I was telling my girlfriend, like, you know, I can't believe...
205 Live?
No, not even 205 Live. We literally watched the match. We literally waited about a good 15 to 30 minutes. And within those 15 to 30 minutes, everybody, the ring crew was like tearing down the ring and all the stuff. We were all just like, wow. And then the crowd started chanting AEW. I'm like, that's unbelievable. But yeah, so like, I was trying to be positive in front of my girlfriend, and because like I didn't want to complain about like the show, you know, I didn't want to complain. I wanted it to be on a good note, so I was like just telling her like, you know, I still had fun. I don't care. But like thinking about it, like I'm kind of mad that that's how it happened. But yeah, so that's that. Yeah, that's how I felt about the whole Brock Lesnar Kofi Kingston match.
It was just so bad.
Yeah, it was.
Well, thank you for giving me your thoughts. I wanted to ask you about it.
Thank you. I actually appreciate you asking me on air. So now I can record and specifically put this rant on the air, because it feels good. It feels good.
Internet.
Huh?
I thought it was on the internet, not in the air.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm going to put it on the internet.
No, yeah, because on the air.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to be a smart. I'm just trying to be a smart ass too. Alright. Well, that's gonna... Thank you guys for watching. That's gonna conclude the show. Yeah, so, what do you guys think of Bray Wyatt moving to Raw or staying on SmackDown? What do you guys buy or sell on that? That's your buy or sell of the week. Do we have a match recommendation of the week?
Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah, get pissed all over again. And my match recommendation is any of the Saudi Arabia shows. So go ahead. Since we're in the theme of pissing people off.
DX versus the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah.
And Shawn Michaels botches moonsault.
Oh,
his nose on the floor.
Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. I'm not gonna watch that. But you guys have fun watching that. Alright. Well, that's gonna end it. Thank you guys. Goodbye.